Welcome to the Russell Hantz Show. Today we are talking about something that you probably wouldn't be expecting. Me and Brandon, because Brandon's here with me today. Brandon,
What's up, guys?
you're definitely not going to expect us to be talking about this subject, but it's a popular subject and fairly entertaining, so we're going to talk about it. It is the Bachelorette. Brandon, isn't she beautiful?
Well, I mean, she's not my cup of tea, Russell. No, I think she's a pretty lady.
I think she's beautiful.
Well, I mean, everybody has their personal preference.
To me, she's beautiful. I even think that the gap tooth's a little attractive. Do you? You like that?
I think you definitely can understand
They have
her.
supermodels with gap teeth that's amazingly beautiful. Sometimes it's a good.
And they have plus size supermodels. So where are we going with this? I mean,
they do beautiful too.
again,
Big
to
is-
each
big
his
is
own.
beautiful. Big is beautiful. I don't know.
My standards are a tad different, and that's okay.
Okay, so what I want to do is I want to talk about the first episode real quick, and then we'll get right back into the second. We didn't do a podcast on the first episode. What we're going to do is Brandon and I are going to do a podcast once a week. He's going to be my co-host on The Bachelorette. So whether you watch it or not, I think this is going to be fairly interesting. You don't have to be a fan of The Bachelorette to love to hear me and Brandon discuss craziness. And Brandon sometimes can get himself in trouble for being so honest. So, Brandon,
Honesty's
Trying-
the best policy.
try not to be too honest here. Okay, here we go. So we got this guy. Let's talk about what they do is they all get out their little limos. And guys, this is the first time I've ever watched the show. The first time Brandon's watched the show. So this is going to be extremely funny and interesting, I hope. So they get out their limousine, and each person meets the Bachelorette one at a time, and they all meet her in their special little ways, right? So they have this the things that got it's almost cringing watching it for me. It's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for most of them. So they have this. They get out in little costumes, or they get out. One guy, he acted like he tripped, and he said, "Did I do that?" You see that guy? Like Urkel, okay? So what happens, Brandon, I don't know if you know this,
Okay.
on The Bachelor or Bachelorette, they hit, I think it's called, you see, that's how much I know about it. I've been taking notes. So at so what they do is they get their time alone. Their time alone.
With that
right?
person.
With that person. I forgot what it's called. I can't, my notes, got too many notes. So they get their time. Tell them what I did, Brandon.
Honestly, there's about 2 pages on here with some doodles. And he's just crinkling the paper in front of the mic.
So anyway, listen. So, no, they have this thing that they do, that they spend time alone with the person at the end of the show, like 4 of them, like without the camera, like there's a night out, a special night together with like top 5 or 4, whatever it is, which means
It's a fucking brothel.
Which means if you have a girl, classy girl, this is a classy girl that's only been with four guys. No, I'm just saying, if you have a girl that's only been with 4 guys, nowadays, shit, that's Mother Teresa, right?
That's sad.
Okay. So let's say that that's the case here.
Only 4?
She's been with only 4 guys, and let's say that that's the case. Well, after this show's over, she doubled that. 8. Bam, just like that.
No.
Well, they get their time together. They get a special date.
See,
a special date.
And then
a special night
it's-
without the cameras.
What's crazy to me is that, again, The Bachelorette, I don't understand how you could even make this a romance. How could our community allow this to be noticed as a romantic thing? Like, what are you teaching your children? You're sitting there watching one guy or one girl metaphorically and almost realistically be fucked by how many people are playing?
Well, I'm not saying that she's gonna do that. I'm not saying
she
that.
doubled it.
But I know it's had to happen before, especially with the guys. The
100%.
guys.
You're tapping.
I
all
have
of
the executive producer from The Bachelor is going to be coming on the show pretty soon. You know my question? I want to know the record. I want to know the record. I want to know
I guarantee
how many,
somebody
they
slept
have
with
a
all
record.
Of them. Somebody has slept with all of them and kept it real
No,
quiet.
not all of them.
Oh.
But what I'm saying is I know that they, in that community, they give each other high fives and say, oh, I slept with 7 of them. And I slept with 10 of them or whatever. I want to know who has the record.
And my thing is like, it goes back to, are you kidding me? Why in the world is it? And they try to manipulate. I don't know if they go into it going, I want to find romance. Because if you are a human being,
they do.
in your mind, how do you tell yourself, out of all these guys she's making out with, I'm going to be the one kiss that changes her heart?
This is.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, they had this little. Yeah, they think that. They think that. I'm gonna play something.
I don't see how they could believe that. That just seems so unrealistic to think that you're sharing. Maybe I'm too old school, but that wouldn't fly with me.
Really?
I mean, Russell. I think our family in general are way too jealous of men to allow our woman to be handled by a bunch of other men, and they're studs.
I'm not a jealous guy.
I'm a jealous guy, homeboy. Touch my woman, we gonna have issues, and that's what it'd have been. It'd have been a fight.
So you trying to say you can't watch? You couldn't watch?
I could not watch the girl that I'm in love with.
You couldn't
Suck on somebody
what about
else's
if it's your
lips.
daughter?
Bruh. All right. I just want to say off the record, fuck that.
It's off the record, guys.
Just
That's
off the record.
So they got this little clip. Hold on. Let me try to bring the clip up. But while I'm trying to do that, I want to talk about this guy that comes out there. This guy comes out there and he says, "Wahoo!" Like, what is he saying? Is he saying wahoo? Wahoo?
I think he's just kind of like. I think he's kind of like going for the whole TV aspect thing. I think there's a couple guys in there that realize that this is a sham, and they're not going in there expecting to fall in love because it's bullshit. And I think that
I think he's trying to.
And I think he's trying to pretty much sell exactly. He's just trying to become famous because he knows that this is. This sucks.
But I mean, maybe he's trying to be the next Bachelor.
I don't know. I'm not sure how that's gonna go, because you know what I think. I think they need to put realistic-looking people on The Bachelor. Ladies and gentlemen, half of you guys look not a quarter as good as these contestants. And you're sitting there, like, drooling over these contestants. How about they have an average Bachelor with some heavyset people on there? I'm just saying. Tell me that wouldn't appeal more.
Yes.
Like, bam, this bitch got some curvatures on her. Like, damn, like some real life.
Thick.
Guys,
yes,
it would be
beautiful.
So much more realistic and so much more entertaining to have some, like, everyone lives in this fantasy realm. And this is, again, reality TV. You're being shamed. It's not reality. Reality is when you go out, you don't get to pick from fucking 10 beautiful human beings.
All these tall, shredded, good-looking guys.
Can you imagine an average person just for fun being put on the cast?
So this guy, Wazoo guy, his name is Lucas.
Lucas, my boy.
I kind of think, after watching the second episode, he's starting to kind of feel like it's real, like he's real. And I'm watching him, put his arms around 2 of the guys, and they kind of carry him like just a silly guy, like a silly, fun guy. But you ladies, if you went on a first date and the guy walks up and he's like, Wazoo, or he carries a mannequin with him, or he's dressed like Urkel, I mean, do you seriously take that serious? How is this just production? How is the lady taking that serious? Any of it?
You know what this is? This is crazy. And some women are like this. I've noticed this. We see it all the time. We see women that are extremely out of their spouse's league. You know what that is? That's a problem with their self-confidence. Mm-hmm. They don't see what other people see when they look in the mirror. They find everything bad about themselves, and they go, okay, the only way I can be comfortable in a relationship is to marry or date down. So, yeah, he's a perfect competitor because he's weird. He's probably the weird. There's studs in there, dude, that are regular, normal guys.
Doctors and lawyers.
And that are just monotone when they speak. They speak very proper. They have their shit together. Mm-hmm. But then fucking Nutso over here comes over wazooing, And she's like, "Oh yes, he's making me high. That's marriage material."
And then all the guys are like, please don't pick my sugar. Please don't pick my
And
sugar.
they're intimidated by Wazoo. Like,
Yeah, they are. That's what it is.
Where
Please don't, because they're like, this is national television. If she picks that dude over me,
oh my God. And they understand, like, look, I think when a woman does something like this, they clearly have very little confidence about themselves. Either that or they're so stuck on themselves, it doesn't matter. I mean, you got to think about it. What class of woman, and I want all the viewers to think about this, what class of woman does it take to go on a show and really whore herself out to a bunch of guys?
That's a bad word.
It's not a bad word. When you can within minutes, guys, think the fuck about it. Come on. Within minutes.
But everybody likes it. They're rooting for it.
Fuck that. Think about the realistic nature of this whole thing. When you're within minutes of kissing another man, you kiss another man. And then minutes of that other man, you kiss another man.
By the way,
what
she
is that
kissed
called?
6 of them the second episode.
You're literally a prostitute that gets nothing.
Well, she may be on the show one day. We can't.
Honestly, no disrespect to you, bro, but that's a tad bit whorish. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, listen.
Any
if
regular
the show,
girl, high school girls get picked on for the same shit.
Look, if they had a show like that, and they actually were like, if they did a show like that in the '60s, and it actually was the type of show, not where they get married after the show, where they actually start dating this person after the show, and then, start a relationship. But they're classy. Would you actually watch that? Probably not.
Absolutely not. This is what's and I gotta harp on it. It is the main objective of the show.
The guys are real excited though. They all when they see her, they think she's the goddess, like the most beautiful woman in the world.
And if I'm a guy and I'm literally what type? Yeah, we talked about what type of girl it takes. What type of a guy? What
man whore? I can say that.
Fuck boy. Yeah, but you could say that to be proper. But when you call a girl a whore for what she's doing,
ladies, just your ex bachelorettes and you bachelorette, if you seriously think that these 30-year-old men, some over 30, some 20, upper 20s, if you think these extremely good-looking, tall, dark, and handsome guys are single, all of them single, you're fooling yourself. Not a near one of them don't have somebody out there that's special to them.
What does it take for a guy to do something like this? Is it just a fame? Because some of these guys are genuine. You can see it on the face.
I don't know, man. Listen,
you
have a guy that goes on that show, and I'm going to ask the executive producer this question. I want to know the time period from the time they get out that limousine to the time they actually don't get the first rose, which means they get voted out, okay? So I want to know that time period. If he tells me 17 hours. So you're telling me that they had a dude, I don't know if you've seen the first one. I told Brandon to start watching the second episode. We'll talk about it. Well, they had a dude that cried on the first episode. So you're saying that he cried because his heart was so distraught that he could not take it no more.
But you got to.
So this is kind of guy that after you have sex with him, he cries.
Yeah, but I think that's real. The reason I think that's real.
You think it's real that
No, the reason I think it's real because there's people out there that are just good people. Just like there's a lot.
But why would he cry?
No, but because you got to imagine, what if this guy, and let's just say, we don't know him from Adam, so we can't really make a decision based on facts. We have to say, hey, what if this guy wanted to find his true love, and he did this genuinely, went through this whole process, which is probably grueling. You got to be good looking.
He just sees her for the first time.
And again, it would have to be one of those even for us to get on something like that.
We're not tall enough.
No, well, I mean, we would have to be with an average person.
We need an average bachelor, an average
bachelor, an average bachelorette, something realistic, somebody with some ink. Are you kidding me?
I don't think. Wait.
You don't see nobody
with
with
hardly see any of that. Oh, he has a necktie too. Let's push him away. Yeah. But hey, he probably has 10 girlfriends.
Or herpes. Let's go.
Look, I guarantee you they pay the Bachelorette and the Bachelors, the main ones. They probably pay them. My guess is they pay them probably around probably $100,000 or a little over that to do the show. So, and then they may do a show after that. Like that other guy that was just on it, he probably got paid well over $1 million to do all the shows he was on. Now, if you don't tell me that's incentive to be the next Bachelor. You know what I mean?
It's incentive.
They usually pick the bachelors from this crowd. This crowd is going to be the next. Somebody in this crowd going to be the next bachelor, and he's going to get paid to do it.
I think that makes sense, but at the same time, you got to look at it like, how realistic are they ever? If that's the case, are you ever trying to find your match?
I mean, it's just
or is this as a game?
It's so crazy to me, and I get it how you're having them passionate kisses. I mean, for goodness sakes, you're having fireworks being popped up in the sky while you're making out with them with the music playing in the background, and you just had a couple of glasses of wine. So yeah, it's almost to you watching, it's a fairy tale. But to them, they say cut, they get the cameras in their faces, they do this, they do that. I can see how you think it's so romantic and all this fun stuff is happening. But in real life, what they're going through is the walk of it, the cameras. Okay, sit here, stand here, say this, do that. I mean, the first episode, that doll got more time with her than most of the guys. I mean, she just sat there with him. You seen that the little doll? He looked like a serial killer type doll. Yeah, that doll. And these guys are freaking. I would have them arrested, most of them, because you seen that guy that tickled her. He's like, close your eyes, put your hands out.
There's bubbles in life. And it's an imaginary bubble, but it's a bubble. And
a bubble.
You don't go through that bubble when you first meet someone.
He assaulted her.
It was so creepy the way that he handled that little girl.
Does it make you uncomfortable watching that?
If I've seen someone, even my daughter's age, teenager,
right,
and he comes up to my daughter and says, "Here, give me your hands."
Your daughter's like 5.
Raise your hands.
If a grown man does that,
at a regular, that's. But I look at it the same way. It's like you literally have the mind of, in no disrespect, but you looked like a hardcore pedophile, bro. You just asked her, hey, like a fucking tickle me Elmo.
She was so defensive, eyes closed, hands out. And, you like to be, what he said, I heard you like to laugh.
That sounds like a Bill Cosby line. Honestly, you Cosby the fuck.
I heard you like to laugh.
I can't even attempt it. Here,
I have this drink.
Oh shit! Yeah, it was just weird. The guy definitely. If he makes it to the end, that's just ridiculous. But I don't think that's the case. I think it's gonna be I think what's gonna happen. Let me make my prediction. Okay? I think because everything's so fucking bullshit, and it's so like not genuine.
You can't lie though. Every once in a while, you feel a little. All of a sudden, you see a little grin going on your face while you're watching it. It's like, and then you catch yourself smiling at the romance and the beauty, the beautiful moments. You see yourself smiling. You're like, hey, why am I smiling? So they have that challenge where they changing babies and they vacuuming and they're doing all this. That was a very stupid challenge. I didn't like the challenge. It was kind of cool seeing Ashton Kutcher there. That shows you how big the show is.
That really was cool. Ashton and Maya Kunis. They actually played in the movies together quite a bit.
I think Ashton is the real deal, though.
Oh, but he's a good guy. You could tell he's a genuine guy.
He seems like a good deal.
You could tell she's a really, really submissive,
it would shock
me
it wouldn't shock me if Ashton cheats on her. But it would shock me if
I think
if it turns out he's not a good guy.
I don't think it's not. Doesn't
believe it or not. You see how bad that is? You can still be a good guy and cheat. Can you be a good guy and cheat?
Okay, well, that's a good question. And the answer is absolutely. I mean, I've cheated millions of times,
Brandon,
and I feel like
you better say baby.
#baby mama. I just love you.
I didn't like the challenge. The only thing I liked the challenge, and it made me like it more, was woo. Did you like watching? Does it make you cringe watching? And I want you to literally do this when this show comes out. I want #cringe. If it makes you cringe watching this woman kiss 6 different guys in one episode, does it make? I mean, how is that romantic?
I think immediately immediately doing that takes
Usually,
the romance
if you
away.
do that, you get paid.
The show's really handicapping itself. It's not at one point, I'm sure if we go to season 1, okay, years ago, there'd be an extremely romantic. The rose and the train.
Actually,
and
I
the
know an
music.
early season where they're still married.
Yeah, but you got to understand times have changed drastically. It's so fast. So you got to imagine the first to the episode now. Back in the day, it probably goes something like Bachelorette, One True Love, The Glass Slipper, fuck, blah blah blah. And then now
it's kind of like the Beauty and the Beast.
everybody wants to be loved, but yet you're trying to find it in somebody's tonsils, or you're trying to find it in a group of people.
Maybe they just gave up on love, dude, and that's why they did the show.
Clearly they didn't do that, or they wouldn't be on a show that promotes love. But really, like I said,
It's all about love. That's what the show really wants.
How?
They want that.
I'm sure.
But it's just so hard to... I mean, that sounds like a heartbreak to me. She falls in love with 10... Like, literally. Okay, I'll put it in better perspective. She falls in love with at least 5 guys. At least 5 guys she's going to be in love with. The kind of love that you'll never see because of the circumstances. So she thinks she's truly in love with 5 guys. That is a heartbreak. I mean, so she got to cut a couple of them loose.
And the thing about it is the one that, and I've seen this a lot in life. I'm sure it happens on The Bachelor. The one you pick may not have that duplicate. You may pick the wrong one. There's so many options. And you may pick the wrong option.
If I was on the Bachelor, what I would be worried about is letting the wrong one go. Because you could have that first one could have been the one just because they don't look the way you want them to look. You let them go. You might let your true love go in real life. You might let your true love go that messaged you, or that you didn't start a conversation with, or that just walked out of that Starbucks and you didn't get his number or her number. And
that's so, and it brings it to a whole different level. Like the softer side of things, like, guys, who wants to be hurt? Nobody wants to be hurt. And I think you just set yourself up with to be hurt even more. I mean, like, where are the times going to where, you found somebody, you fought for her, you chased after her, you stayed with her, high school sweethearts, and, one person. I mean, this is why it touches people's heart. This is why viewers watch it. Because the number one thing...
They want that love, man.
The number one thing in this world is people try to find a way to be loved. And if they can't find it in a person, they find it in alcohol. They find it in things. They try and fill the void we call love. That's why The Bachelor is the number 1 TV show right now, is because everybody wants to be loved. But nobody... They need to take a step back and look at what happened back in the day. Marriages lasted then.
So do you think they can, nowadays, with society how it is, do you think that they can actually... that show would be a popular show if they wouldn't be, kissing every episode? Or
it would be so amazing.
It would be amazing, but would it be a good show?
Would it be a good show?
I think the one you said with the regular people, a couple of chubbies,
Yeah, throw an average person in there. Get some nerds, get some jocks, but an average type of person. Like, don't put fucking Channing Tatum in a room full of fucking people off of the fucking the Ringer. You gotta fucking make it realistic. I mean, geez. I mean, we get it. People are physically driven. It's gonna handicap the show. It's just like throwing...
I think that's a hit show right there. So that would put me as the next Bachelor.
And that would put me as the producer of the next Bachelor.
You can't be the Bachelor. You got...
No, the producer.
I'm kind of talking to somebody right now.
Oh, no.
No, yeah.
Yeah, this is what I mean by this world is ass backwards. I mean, if you only knew. I just will save that for another podcast in the future.
Okay, so now we have the basketball game, okay? You like that? They played back.
I was more interested in the football, throwing the football, because I wanted to see somebody get leveled.
So they're playing basketball, and you guys that haven't watched it, this is the most interesting part of the whole show. And they have a crowd watching them. And all of a sudden, after the game was over, they have this little white girl that comes up, and she's like, "That's my man. He still got keys to my apartment." And she's like, oh, I feel sick to my stomach. And she starts questioning it. But the funniest thing was when she goes gets him in the back with the guys. She walks around, and the camera is where you can see his reaction immediately when he sees her. Okay, his girlfriend, his real girlfriend. So his real girlfriend happens to be sitting in the audience while he's walking around that corner, and then he's like, "What? Who's that? Who's that? Who's that?" He's like acts like he don't even know her at first, and then he immediately knows he can't go that route. So then he's like, "Oh yeah, she's just crazy girl. She's a crazy white girl." That's what he wanted to say. She's just crazy white girl, and this girl's like, "Wait, she said something." She said, he's like, you come to my house all the time. And then she's like, the last time you was at my house, you were fucking me.
And
Bam!
And she was busted. I ain't gonna lie, she was not attracted. She looked like a crackhead a little bit.
I thought she was okay. She's an average person.
But that's what I'm saying.
She should be the next Bachelorette.
We're in two different leagues, man.
She could be the next Bachelorette.
Look, okay, and this is where I call bullshit, because, Russell, you've been with some beautiful model women. Yeah. People you would consider 10s, hard 10s.
Yeah, but I'm all about personality.
No, get the fuck out of here.
It's all about personality.
They had none. There was a couple of them actually had really good, beautiful personalities. But ask yourself this. Do you feel like you were in their league?
Of course. You can never not be
And this is
confident.
why I believe the world has no fucking idea.
You can never not be confident to where you can't say, oh, this person's better than me. And I'm sure a lot of people watch The Bachelor and say, oh, I couldn't. Them guys wouldn't look my way. You cannot do that. You always have to have the confidence to say, of course they would look. The thing is, would I look their way? That's how you think. Don't ever think that you're not good enough for anybody. You're not good enough for these guys? Are you kidding me? Half these guys are douchebags. Okay. And guess what? Lord. You better believe that I guarantee you 75% of them have girlfriends.
You just gave some fat kid the audacity to go to get embarrassed in his fucking middle of his high school.
No, I gave a fat kid confidence.
And then he's gonna get bitch slapped in front of a bunch of kids and go fucking cut his wrist when he gets home.
That's called bullying, and that's not right.
I'm just telling you, we gotta, guys. Look, this ain't a movie. This is reality. And you know what? There are some cases to where hashtag Donald Trump. There are people who get beautiful women under certain circumstances. He's got fucking money, so he's dating Ivanka Trump or whatever the fuck her name is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what you're teaching people?
No, I'm teaching you to have confidence in yourself. You don't have to.
You need to build a bank account, become the president, and go find you a wife.
So you saying, okay, Brennan.
I stay in my lane. When have you ever seen me with like these crazy beautiful women?
You can find people out there. For instance, I'll give you a story. Me and Boo went on this vacation. It was right before we did Survivor. They had these 3 girls that went with us. We was staying over there at Damon's place in Destin. So these 2 of the girls were 10s. I mean, beautiful. One of the girls. This is like the beginning of the trip. We even talked about it. Okay, she's a 10. She's a 10, and that's rare for us to say 10s. What's the other one? She's a 6. Okay. By the end of that trip, the 6 was a 10, the 10s were 6s. If you got a girl that's a 10 that's been telling all her life she's been told she was a 10, her personality doesn't keep up with that. She thinks she's better than most. So, yeah, you can be confident, man. Stay confident.
All right, so the voice of reason is back. Stay in your lane, people. Find people that you fit in with, that you mesh with well, and that there's a mutual attraction. That's why I think, and I'm not saying fat people, skinny people, muscle, not, blah, 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 whatever. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is what lane you're in. That's like, I'm a Major League Baseball player, or I'm a Little League Baseball player. I'm not going to go and try and play in the pros. It takes, you're just there.
I would love to see Brandon pick the cast of the next. Like pick the girl,
absolutely.
and then pick the have about 100 people and pick real people. Don't pick just real people that you think would connect with the public more than just a bunch of pretty boys.
Yeah, but that's true. But you'd have to have even whether it's TV, good TV or not. There has to be an attractive nature to these people. Like there's guys that aren't attractive that girls think are beautiful.
Dude, I know you have friends, and you've seen friends that have great personalities with a beautiful wife that their mug
but it's a sham.
Not.
I swear it's a sham.
Right.
In my heart, it's a sham because I'm so. I am so fucking shallow when it comes to that stuff.
You're shallow?
Oh, hella shallow. So shallow. So shallow. I know it doesn't seem like it, but like when you find somebody, Facebook, fucking. Let's give an example. POF, Plenty of Fish, is a dating website. Okay, what do? You don't post your fucking bio first. You post a picture.
Tinder.
What do you see?
Is it Tinder? You sweet picture. That's all it is.
You swipe. Think about this world. Appearance driven. Everything is the first thing you see is what gives you the okay.
But that sucks.
Yeah,
it
sucks, man. Because back in the day, it may have been different. Y'all could have just been best friends growing up. You just played all your life together. But now everything's it's like almost fast food. You can get it when you want it. Boom, 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 boom. You go to a strip club now and you can pick through the glass, bro. I want that one.
Damn.
Well, where's those days when you didn't pick your stripper? What she was just given to you.
Right.
Now
Back in the
many options.
High school sweetheart days.
Yeah, it's like, honestly, there is absolutely no real love. And you want to know why I personally believe that you cannot find true love on earth? Well, yeah, sure, I'll tell you.
Tell me.
Don't
Why?
Don't be in a rush. The reason is I think, and it goes back to my faith, I think that God allows us to have that void so that only He can fill it. True love.
And you know what happens when you think you this is what I seriously think this is what happens with Hollywood. They have a void in their life and they look for it and they turn to drugs. That's why you constantly have these, drugs or alcohol or just killing themselves. Look at Robin Williams. I mean, one of the greatest comedians of all times. He had a void in his life. He was missing something. Love could feel that though, man. Love could feel that.
But that's the thing is, guys, think about it. You can look at all.
That's why they do the Bachelorette and Bachelor, because they're looking for that void in their life.
Let me just throw a nugget to you guys, and you're talking to somebody who has a little experience in the love department. Okay,
Yeah.
Look, there's a couple different things, and there's a couple of statistics I'm about to tell you. Number one, drunk driving is one of the leading killers in the United States of America.
Bad.
You want to know what the number one? Love.
They drink because they were in love.
No.
Or they're out of love.
I'm talking about leading killers here. Name one person you don't know who is in their life hasn't had something detrimental happen to them because of a spouse or because of love. Love drives people to do some insane shit.
Well, that's why it's so popular, because everybody feels that. Everybody's been hurt.
But I don't think people should get the idea of love being a good thing. I think love can be a good thing.
True love is a good thing, man.
But where do you find it? Tell me one time.
Through your kids.
That's unconditional love. But are you ever going to unconditionally love someone who you know?
You sure wish you can find that person.
But you can't.
It sure would be nice.
Yeah, but that's why I say, again, it goes back to, I think it's almost a joke. It's almost like, hey, you're never going to find that true love in any person, that human being, anyone, biblically. Everyone's going to fail you on this planet. Name one person who hasn't.
Well, you making this podcast real depressing.
Honestly, I'm just trying to give them the realistic views of things.
People out there that's listening to this podcast, some of them are in love, man. Real love. I've felt that before. Yeah. Have you ever felt that, almost literally take your breath away kiss? Have you ever felt that? You probably haven't, and that's bad.
I've never felt it.
I felt it, man. It's an amazing thing, and it's extremely hard to find. And you know what? Sometimes you'll go your whole lifetime without finding that. That's why The Bachelorette is so popular. People they're looking for it. They're constantly looking for that love.
It's such a far-fetched thing to me, but you know why I say I don't think I have it? I think it's because stupid fucking TV shows like this, to where it makes me not want to trust one human being in my life.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I see that. I guess
You get what I'm saying? It's like what the fuck do I want to love somebody for if this is the example I have?
Yeah.
Someone's really in love, they watch this show and they're like, fuck love. I don't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
That little fat kid's going, just, all right, girls, in the locker room.
I'm never going to look like that.
Yeah.
I'm never going to look like that. How can I get that? How can I have that love? That's not, first of all, that's not love, the love that you want. That love that you're seeing on TV is not the love that you want. If you've been lucky enough to have true love in your life, then you're a lucky person. If you can be on your deathbed and you have that moment, then you're a lucky person. You know, if you have unconditional love with your children, that's a lucky person. So, you know, it's not all bad out there. And I get it. I get the show. We're gonna keep watching it, and you know, it's gonna get more and more. I think it's gonna get more and more interesting.
More and more intense for sure, because you know I'm excited to see where this goes. Right now, she's just had extremely big. Now her trust level, is bad.
I counted 6 guys. Second episode. That they actually aired. That they actually showed.
Honestly, guys, let's think about it. Open your heads, bro. Open your minds. If you're watching the show for love purposes, turn your fucking TV off. If you're watching the show because you like entertainment, and like we are at this point, I would hope. Honestly, it's been fucking great. Yeah. I mean, it is right. It's a awesome soap opera.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Really.
Actually. So this is going to happen once a week, believe it or not. Me and Brandon are going to talk about The Bachelorette. Hopefully we can have that beautiful young lady on the show when she gets off. We appreciate you guys listening. Keep it up. We're doing amazing. And see you next time.